for Scarlet Mage, because the damage that gets taken away from Mana Shield is taken away before armor or magic resistance is taken into account. So she should be able to tank better than than typical carries, certainly. So I kind of like that. But you know, if she's way out of position or her team doesn't get to back her up, then it can be a big issue as well.
Still don't understand the spray. It is a cow. Don't know what a cow has to do with letting dogs out.
I don't know. It's cool though.
It's very
well drawn.
It is, yes, it is exceptionally well drawn for sure. But Zoomer's sending over the bodies, making sure that they can secure themselves this rune. And Wildcard just checking to see if they have any vision over here right off the bat.
Yeah, I think the most interesting lane that Zoomers is doing is definitely the Monkey King Jahiro one. 3 Monkey King has not really been that popular. There was a period of time where OG would try it a little bit with Seb, but it always kind of felt not very good to me. Because it's like somewhere between needing to farm. Like, yeah, sure, if you dominate the lane, it kind of feels good, but buying an item that helps you contribute well in the mid game feels kind of weird sometimes. Maybe if you play it more like a 4 with utility items, it can make sense, but not quite sold on it just yet.
A little bit of harass coming out over to Costable. Pretty standard stuff, just making sure that they can try to push out some of that early regen. They're doing a decent amount of harass, honestly. Like, they're really going for this. They could actually, yeah, there it is.
Wow.
There's the first blood.
First blood.
Nicely done. That's a big one. I mean, Deuce is very slow, 275 movement speed, so they had 20 and 40 movement speed over her. Very costly. That'll be a nice gold advantage for Dalai Lama. And that's maybe not the player you want to give a good start. He's very experienced playing offlane. Tiny, that could be cascading him into even faster Blink Dagger. That really upsets the map.
And again, it is going to come down to the fact that, you know, they have to get out of this laning stage fairly even at the very least, right, for the side of Zoomers. Otherwise, they're going to run into some issues because they do have a lot of early aggression coming out from Wildcard and a lot of burst, potentially, too.
Yeah, it is a lot of burst. They don't have save either, which is a bit scary. But as long as their positioning is good, or they initiate better, then it should be fine. Gunner's going to be playing Pangolier. He's felt like a pretty solid Pango player from my perspective, so as long as his laning stage goes okay, it should be completely fine. As long as they are doing a better job on vision.
That is something that is pretty interesting when you consider both of the sides, right? You've got an Enchantress and Enchantress who's going to be able to pick up, you know, creeps, sometimes getting like that Heartbeat creep like we talked about, little extra vision, but also on the flip side of that, they have a Monkey King on the side of Zoomers, and he is going to be their primary initiator, I imagine. So having that, that extra vision, being a little bit difficult to pin down, will be very, very nice for them.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I think Pango can definitely do a lot of that as well. We've seen the Pango plus Coddle dual lane do very effective things because you get multiple swashbuckle jumps. Gunner getting pressured mid a little bit. Costabile also getting a bit low. If there's a salve, gonna heal him back up though.
Mid-lane seems pretty even though in terms of the CS. 13-2 on the Storm, 13-1 on the Pango. Some aggression coming out here in the bottom lane, but again, it is pretty difficult to take down an Enchantress when she does have the sprites. Same thing with Eve, having that capability of just, you know, backing off and whatnot. No points in that refraction yet, I don't think, though, right? No.
Yeah, none yet. Got the Meld Strike. So far, I think Moo's done a nice job, though. 10 last hits versus the 13 of Eve's. That seems fine. Fast boots on Eve, though. It's going to help protect him against Moo.
They have the enchant to slow down just a little bit.
He's got 2 points in Jingu, by the way. Oh, has he
got
got this?
Careful. Ooh, he pops Fairy Fire. Nope, Sam's going to survive. And the Meld Strike coming in from Eve. Dodges away with that mischief. Z-Freak taking a little bit of tower damage, but again, they have the healing sprites. And they've got good sustain coming out from Wildcard.
Usually you don't see people get 2 Jingo Mastery, but in this lane where he's trying to like win this lane, like rather than like, you know, farm evenly, transition the mid game where he uses his AoE skills to get creep waves, then this is something that he's aiming for. He wants to be able to out-pressure these guys, and he's been getting a lot of Jingu Mastery procs with those 4 hits. So far kind of working out okay. He's going to need Boots of Speed to help match what Eve is outputting, especially now he has to deal with neutral creeps. So far so good for the Zoomers down here in the off lane.
Yeah, looking fairly solid. Over in the top lane, seems that Davai Lama had himself a nice start and is about to have himself a little bit better of a time. They get plenty of damage over onto Husky. One more hit. This time it's going to be Alex who secures the kill. It's going to get brought down a bit low here by the Medusa, but not enough damage to take out Skywrath just yet.
Well, 2 kills now. It's not the end of the world.
Uh-oh. They already used the stomp? Well, they don't need it. He has plenty of damage.
That animation is just so satisfying, like watching the giant ball like smash into somebody. Oh, I don't know, it's cool. Very anime. Yeah, the pressure is important there. Blocking that camp is usually what you want to do, but for Sammy Boy, gets level 3. Very crucial level here because it gives you 60 seconds with this neutral creep to mess around against your opponents. Definitely a very powerful thing, but their goal here is definitely to try to bully and kill the Enchanter, or to kill the Templar Assassin. Dual Breath and Liquid Fire is going to break Refraction, and then Monkey King with his Orb of Venom and Chase abilities should allow him to secure some of those kills.
I feel like it's really difficult with the Enchantress in the lane just because she has been able to, you know, pop those sprites, heal back up again throughout slows or whatever. But with Sam, you know, doing a little bit of jungling here, he's grabbed himself a Wild Wing. Might be able to find that opening against the TA, as in the mid lane Gunner. Swashbuckling forward. Thinks about going for that Rolling Thunder, but no. Not going to quite pop it just yet.
I think he was trying to bait TPs there, doing the roll, because Storm was not quite...
Oh, the Wild Wing Ripper there with that little tornado knocking me back. That's a decent amount of damage. But top lane, the toss back. Somebody's out of mana. All right, Husky's going to be able to top him off a little bit. Give him a bit more, so... The pressure is definitely on these lanes, though. I'm liking how aggressive Wildcard is playing.
Me too. But some of it's them just matching what their opponents are bringing. In the case of the off lane, at least, that's what we're seeing. But Sammy trying to contest the lane a little bit while his TA goes back to jungle, and Eves is just doing the safe thing here. Keep in mind, he got that earlier kill on the Jakiro, so he's relatively happy on TA at the moment. But jungling, it'll be fine. That's the TA stuff, right? Pretty much no matter what happens, you're going to have a good time.
Pretty much. A bit more damage here in the top lane. Svile sitting low on the mana again, but just a lot of harassment as Gunner, ooh, in the mid lane. Okay.
Rough one.
Was that just solo completely?
Yeah, they must have fought to the death, and then Gunner tries to roll to get the kill. I don't know if he hit him on the way out or not, or it was like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose, I gotta roll out for distance, but just enough damage from Storm gives him the kill. So previously it was Gunner at the top of the charts, but that death will hurt them a little bit. They might go on Eves here, bottom. Yeah,
that looks like to be the case, but Sam is also here. He's got a little Pinecone Warrior. They have to be careful as they're going to try to get off enough damage. They don't have the detection, though, so right, waiting patiently.
Another dual breath. He's going to have refraction, 3.
Oh, Gunner shows up and says, hey, nice. I'll take this kill, but Esk making his own rotation down here. The Vortex back over onto Gunner. Nice ice path, though. Dodge away. Gunner needing a little bit more space. He does not have it as Esk closes the gap quite easily.
Yeah, it does the 2-person shield crash, which helps, but yeah, ultimately way too much damage there. He already knew the Rolling Thunder was on cooldown as well. Otherwise, he would love to use it there. More pressure coming towards the top lane. That tower is going to die very soon. And Divine Llama, even with buying all these other small items, Sage's Mass, Infused Range off, full Wraith Band, he's going to blink really soon, in another 4 to 5 minutes probably. And that's when things get scary, because an Avalanche is maxed out. It's going to be pressuring the map. On the bright side, Husky's going to be he's a perfect hero for offsetting this. Much like Tree and Protect, you just blast the next wave. That gives you a little space, but yeah, Devi's just going to clean her up here.
I mean, ooh, as we do have a... Oh, look at the stack that he found here. That is always a nice surprise as a Templar Assassin.
That's a nice one.
They have a nice deep ward placed there, too, to keep tabs on whoever's going to be entering this dire area. So, yeah, Wildcard. Really making maximum use. They do go for a scan. They know that they're over there. But they also know that they've lost the stacks that they've made for this Medusa. There's only one. It could be worse, but this Keeper of the Light, too, has got to be very careful because once this Blink Dagger's online, he is just in for a rough time.
Yeah, a lot of the heroes are actually. Kustabile is having a rough one. The getting First Blooded, Tiny getting a fast boots. Now they're just being invaded all the time. This is like kind of the opposite of what's normally supposed to happen. Usually it's the Dire side that's supposed to be being aggressive, but because Medusa's a little vulnerable here, it's getting scary.
Zip forward over onto Moo, and if a monkey falls in a forest and his teammates aren't around, I don't know, something clever.
Then he's actually a tree. I don't know if that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense, but I appreciated you trying.
It's not actually a monkey. Keep in mind, Moo went 3 points in Jingu Mastery now. more lifesteal, more damage from Jingu Mastery is going to potentially give him better ability to get kills, but it's a weird skill build. It's not one that we see very normally, and his net worth is now suffering. Z-Freak also going to get killed here, and Wildcard Gaming just kind of rolling over the Zoomers at the moment. I mean, we saw Gunner's one successful rotation, but he died afterwards. He also died solo to the Storm. That changes the tempo in a big way. Storm gets his items faster. Pango didn't get a good Rolling Thunder to kill any core, I believe, other than the TA kill. So all of this just means that Zoomers are not really making their stuff happen. Husky walks right into Enchantress.
Right into a...
A lot of damage.
Creep there too. Needs a little bit more, and Gunner is making his way over, so Sam gonna have to respect it. Most likely going to be losing his Centaur.
Oh no.
Or not.
That's fine, they got the Observer Ward at least. That'll give him a little bit of space. Supposed to be like does have some safe farming zone here. Move pressuring out top, but again, his skill build is going to mean that his farm speed is going to be quite low if he doesn't get hero kills. That will definitely cost him. Jakiro so far is the 4-position hero. We're 10 minutes in. Man doesn't have boots. Not looking good for the Zoomers. Laning stage did not give them the... Oh, Sam.
Okay, all right. Gunner finds himself a kill with the Rolling Thunder. He's got to be careful, though. Esk and Alex waiting nearby. Husky's there, too, but can't do a lot, honestly, if Esk decides he wants to make this run. But, nope. Gunner will be able to just move away, and the Blink Dagger is now online for Tiny. So this is where the game starts looking a little bit scary here for the side of the Zoomers, because I don't feel like they're ready to fight into this.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and both of their supports are a little bit squishy. There's a lot of raw HP on Jakiro usually, but if Tiny gets on top of Keeper of the Light or Jakiro and there's follow-up, that's a big problem.
Gonna have to tree dance. Make his way away from the two wild carders here.
He actually maxed Jingu Mastery. He committed all the way to it. I'm very surprised. Not something we almost ever expect to see. Because, I don't know, like when Monkey King got nerfed a little bit in terms of Jingu, you kind of just realize that the skill's a bit dead. There's a lot of times where it just isn't enough. Wow, they just...
Speaking of enough, they had enough damage there, that's for sure.
The issue is basically nothing's happening on the map for the Zoomers except for Gunner's most recent kill against Enchantress. So in the meantime, they're also not playing near Medusa, which is not good. They're kind of playing near top at the moment, sort of, but everybody's kind of spreading out and getting farm. But maybe not the space that they need to feel really confident.
I was going to ask, is the idea possibly, eventually on Husky to pick up the shards, that way they can let Medusa farm and then just bring her along, or...?
Yeah, that's certainly an option, because it would allow her to increase her farm rate a little bit and still show up to team fights, but it's a ways until we get to that point. In a lot of cases, spending the 1,500 gold just for that is not going to be worth it. I don't even think I've seen too many Coddle shards, so...
I think it's usually not until it gets later into the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you need survivability items, right? Like he needs a Glimmer or something else that he can survive when Storm goes on him. That's just more important in most cases.
Deso next up on the shopping list for the Templar Assassin, and that's going to be very important that they make sure that they contain that Roche from the side of the Zoomers. But a Blink Dagger is picked up now for Pango, so perhaps Gunner will be able to make some more things happen.
He is smoking towards top. He did see Sammy, I'm sure, but don't want to break smoke on him. He's looking for somebody more valuable.
Ooh, they see Alex, though. Alex does have the last remnants of a haste rune, though, so I should be all right. Sam continues to poke a little bit here in the top lane.
I mean, Z-Freak will slow down this push top. Maybe he ultis it as well to be safe, but they're probably going to gank on Alex. But yeah, Sam knows. He hasn't seen him in a while. Yeah, they do end up macro powering the top lane because he does not want to even mess around being close or spotted. Doesn't kill his trees either, so you can still juke from the trees. Z-Freak kind of playing Coddle-like here. They're a little redundant in their hero picks in that way, but...
But their high ground will be impeccable.
I guess it will.
Their defense, anyways, when they go in there.
But so far, the game feels kind of weird. Wildcard Gaming is just kind of out-farming at this point due to the having better map control. Feels like they can actually be on the map, whereas the Zoomers cannot so much. But this is definitely kill potential mid. Let's see if they go in Gunner.
Yeah, they're putting Moo over, just trying to get any information possible. They'll back off over on the side of Zoomers, as there are other bodies from Wildcard starting to collapse over.
I like the Orchid for Storm. It's definitely a good pick up this game. Good against Gunner on the Pangolier. can definitely get kills that way. Sam's going to run into his jungle looking for enemy heroes. He's had enough sitting around. He's got treads, he's got a broom handle, he's quite survivable. And then they just have Divine Llama nearby too. Full avalanche levels, full toss levels. If they spot any of these squishy heroes, they can definitely kill them.
Feels like a little bit of a bait, right? You just send Sam forward, just like, oh, look, it's just an Enchantress. Then all of a sudden, the blink forward comes out from Devi.
It's a common strategy, right? Because against heroes that do have some composite, like some right-click damage, it's a good protection to throw her in first.
Now they do have, well, they're just sentries, so they don't have any actual like vision. But Stabile must have just realized something feels up as already just ball lightning away. Doesn't want to be here. Even go and they pop one of the traps just for good measure. Oh, Alex though, maybe he's sticking around a little bit too long. So no mobility on him just yet. This is most likely a kill. Vi though, following up with the Avatos. Not quite enough. The zoom forward though, coming out from Esk. He's trying to burst down. Moose will be able to find as he jumps over onto the Jakiro. Eve joining into the fight. The Macropire's already been laid down, but it's a double kill now for Esk. At that double damage, a little bit low on mana. Devi seeing himself a Husky, throws out the Avalanche, connects over onto 2, the toss up into the air. Husky somehow still alive, and Esk needing to be very careful. He may have gotten too greedy. That tree lands over on Husky, but they'll end up removing Esk.
All right, not the worst for the Zoomers, I guess.
Devi going back in. He's creeping, yeah, there's the Avalanche.
He doesn't have Mana Shield on.
The toss. Yeah, we've got the Mana Shield on now, but the slow with the enchant, they need a little bit more damage, and by God, they have it. We'll pull back here, drop the Monkey King ultimate, but Wildcard's just going to be able to walk away. That Ice Path not connecting.
Ugh, that's a painful game from the Zoomers. I think the last series they played, they looked pretty solid, but this one they just feel off to me. Like, the picks are a little weird with the Coddle and the Jakiro dual support, but oh no, this would be a big kill. Wow, Devi Llama's owning this game. Yeah, that one's gonna hurt for Gunnar there. Pretty rare that he gets punished that severely. But yeah, he's a little squishy on the hero. If he's not rolling, definitely vulnerable to this combo from Wildcard Gaming. In this case, he just did it by himself.
The Desolator online now for Eve, so they are in the pit. They're using those rally creeps, zip forward over onto the lane, plus the Mystic Flare. They need a little bit more damage though to be able to take down Moo, and they have it. It is just so hard for the Zoomers to get anywhere out on this map right now.
It is. The lane setup they ultimately went with like the offlane Monkey King, it does not feel that good. It looked okay at times in the laning stage, but it transitioning with Max Jingu Master I think was just unrealistic. Just don't really see all those skill points being justified in most cases. And that's why most monkeys get just like 1 point of Jingu, maybe 2 tops. That's also because they're typically farming a bit more, but the 4 position can be some kind of a blend, right? Where it's partially right click, but it's also partially getting farm later on. So, I don't know, his build has been kind of weird. Mage Slayer's a cool idea. It's going to be very good against Storm, against Tiny, against Skywrath Mage, but it just feels hard for this hero to be effective unless he like gets on top of somebody in a tree, like cast ult, and then stuns afterwards. So he doesn't feel as good from like a support position unless you're spending the vast majority of your time scouting and being ready for that crucial stun.
Well, it looks like they should be able to get a pick off here on Alex. He separated the Macro Pyre, the Ice Path, and the Rolling Thunder. It's going to be Kostabile who gets the final hit.
Yep.
But pressure being placed here in the top area of the Dire Jungle coming out from Wildcard. They have the Aegis, they do have that Deso. So Husky gonna do the best he can, Lightning Light, but over in the mid lane, they just end up losing Moo again. This gank burst combination coming out from Wildcard, proving to be too much for them to handle.
Yeah, there's just nothing they can do to stop it. Moo can throw a stun, but even if he does that, he dies. So Troy was hoping to get 4 hits, maybe get a heal off, but it's not working. Monkey Core in other lane matchups can function, but it's difficult to like dumpster your lane with a hero matchup these days. It feels just a little bit harder. Most of the really abusive ones have kind of been nerfed down, or players have just gotten better at finding ways to deal with it.
Should he have adjusted when the laning phase started going a bit off for them, or would that have just been like too much all over the place?
The only criticism I have is maybe the skill build. And
that's what I'm referring to,
yeah.
Because you mentioned that he went full on Jingu.
You could argue he should have gotten more of Primal Spring or more of the stun earlier and then tried to use that to farm creeps faster, but it is still pretty early. Good start here.
That Wild Wing. Sam has been on point with these. This feels like this shouldn't happen. Sam should not be allowed to continuously do this because they're baiting. You can see Divine Llama getting into position with that Mystic Flare coming in. They'll turn back around. They don't want to get stuck in the stone gaze. The Ford, though, coming out from Storm ends up getting turned into that stone like we talked about. So he ends up falling. Perhaps just being a little bit too greedy here because Sablé has no more mana left, but the disarm over onto the TA will make it so they can't finish him off. They'll be able to take down Z-Freak, turn their attention over to Moo.
Damn.
And Davai, he was full-on Divine here. He's chasing after Sablé. This is looking like a Tentusa.
That almost worked for Moo, actually. He almost got his 4th hit on Tiny, and then it opened up his options, because then he's got all this bonus damage, he crits and life steals from it. Then he almost does it on TA, but also dies there. Ugh, really tough for Moo in that fight. That little break. 10k gold advantage now for Wildcard Gaming. They gotta be feeling really good right now, and they wanted to commit on Sammy, but they knew if they did, they're gonna waste spells on a 5 position here, and then this fight could happen. So it looked kind of good for Zoomers at the start, especially when they cleaned up the Storm. All these rolling boulders, he used his roll-up to get that 3rd charge through, plus the blast. But then Moo jumps to the right, pressures Divine Llama, preventing him from going in. He tosses it back so he doesn't get the 4 hits, and then he's like, all right, see if I get 4 hits. Can't do it. Then they clean up Costa Bila with all the slows.
Yeah, that 3-man avalanche also could have gone even worse for them if they, if the side of Wildcard was a little bit closer, but manages to get the big target.
So,
The map is just so tiny now for them.
yeah, since we went back to that replay, by the way, they've gained another 2,000 gold of net worth advantage. So the big thing about getting kills, of course. And this graph is very explanatory from what we felt so far in the laning stage. They have 35% more gold on the Wildcard Gaming side. That's a huge amount of net worth. So they're feeling very happy. I think Sammy's played great this game so far. Everybody on the team has been really solid. Now he's back drawing towers, forcing some rotations.
I mean, he's got the rally Skelly boys, right? So.
Yes.
And again, they're chasing after Sam. I think they're perfectly fine with them chasing after because it's multiple heroes as they're putting some pressure over onto the mid lane.
Oh, he doesn't have roll now and he can't go up. Painful. Very painful.
Yeah, you see that tip get dropped. They know how painful it is as the pressure's being placed on mid.
He had already used Shield Crash to get some slow. His allies were supposed to catch up. But
He's still back. Oh
Dude.
my god.
All right. This
Sam
is
is getting away with way too much in
yeah,
this game.
this is absolute murder. Landing the stun on the 2 guys was incredible.
Oh, and they get the courier killed with the ultimate orb. Oh no.
I mean, if they stayed around and pressured him again, then they're still there. And realistically, anybody on Wildcard could have moved over. That's why Zoomers probably doesn't feel comfortable jumping on him. They're just in a really bad spot and they recognize it. But they got to try to get their kills. 15k gold advantage now. It's just getting worse. That's a kill they can maybe get.
I mean, there's still other people nearby though. Like, that's the issue.
It's dangerous as well. If he gets silence comboed, he just...
Yeah, look at this. They teleport in. They want these boys. They know they're here. Gunner blinking up. Ask's going to have to turn back around. He's got the roll up. He's going to try to buy himself just a little bit more time, but there's the silence. The orc gets the drag back. That's a very dead Gunner. Again.
Yeah. Rough one. They're doing everything they can there by pressuring out the lane, but unfortunate. Got him.
That seemed like a bait. In the words of Pango, was that intentional? It looked intentional.
He thought he could get the deny safely. Here's that fight again. Takes the neutral, instantly stuns 2 heroes. Rolling boulder was used, or sorry, the jump was used right before his ulti, which is a mistake in hindsight because then he could have jumped at the cliff. But then that angle was just really rough, so wasted ulti, unfortunately.
This looks like it's going to translate into another towers. They've already lost mid.
I mean, they got Tiny and TA. Like, towers die here. Tiny doesn't have shard yet because he's been offlaner, but he's doing so well that he's got more damage than, or more net worth than the Medusa, so might as well carry.
And that's going to be a dead Husky. It's a good combination, though. The burst between the Tiny and the Skywrath, and also just pairing it up too, even with the Storm Spirit, has been very, very impressive this game.
Yeah. There's a lot of good options, certainly, for how they want to get kills. Costa Bila finishing Scotty would definitely help. Give him a lot of survivability and some great anti-carry. Like we said, it's good against Tiny. It's very good against TA. It's okay against Storm as well.
That hurts that they ticked down his courier. It is going to be back up, though, in about 3 more seconds, so he'll have that ultimate orb, and he should have enough soon for the second ultimate orb. So we're progressing, but it is, like we said, it's a struggle. Zip forward, coming out from S, putting out the silence, followed up with that Mystic Flare, because they managed to take down that tree, and uh-oh, Stubbley is not looking good here. Stone Gaze does come out. Have to wait to be patient, but they have so much damage. Oh my word, she never stood a chance.
Yeah, they didn't even need a stun.
Do need a stun to stop Z-Freak here, and they don't have it, so Z-Freak will be able to escape.
Honestly, who cares? They killed the 1 position and the 3 position that fight. They're just continuing to snowball really hard. I just don't see a good way for Zoomers to win a fight at this point. Unless they do Vision, Rolling Boulder, plus combo kill 1 guy, maybe 2. That's the best thing they can hope for, but they're at the point where the physical damage is so high from TA that even Pango could be in trouble with this BKB.
Yeah. It's just very, very difficult, especially, you know, Devilam has been playing really excellent this game, too, with his initiations. He jumps on, you know, multiple heroes with those avalanches, stunning them. It's just been a very nice game coming out from the side of Wildcard.
They have to look really solid. I feel like this is a little bit Zoomers like outdrafting themselves again. Like they definitely have a streak where they do kind of weird stuff. Like they said in, I think, one of Moo's interviews, he said that, or maybe it was Z-Freak, is that there's times where like some of us are sad because we wanted to play like the hero we didn't get to play because they're so flexible in how they want to play their matchups. So unfortunately, this one maybe have been a little too deep in terms of hero picks, mistakes. But smoke comes around. Let's see if they can get any good fight. Sam's gonna walk into it.
Gonna break the smoke over on multiples. Gunner's a little bit unsure of where he wants to go now, and that's a big opening here as the BKB comes out. Devi again, this positioning, we talked about it. Maybe he's still alive though. The Stone Gaze coming into effect. Zip forward onto the back line, so they end up taking out Mozy. Freak will fall. Now they'll just chase right around, back over at this dude. So they're trying to move her around. They try to force staff, but it's not going to be enough as they just have so much damage. They eventually take down Devi Llama, but they will lose the Medusa, and it's looking like they're going to lose Husky too. In fact, it's a full team wipe.
I really was feeling like maybe they were going to GG from that fight, but getting the kill does give them a little bit more go possibility. There's a lot of gold going to the Medusa at least. Did he pick up his point push? He did not, actually. So, I don't know. That's still tough. The worst case scenario for the fight, Sammy Boy walks in, breaks the smoke. Zoomers know they have to react really quickly, otherwise they're going to get wiped, so they use their abilities. And then Pango loses like half of his HP and half of his rolling duration, just like beginning the fight. So, just pretty bad case scenarios there.
It is indeed rough. They even pick up a gem now for the Enchantress, so they'll have even more vision. Alex, he gets them with the force staff as jumps on in. Mystic Flare gets thrown out. Not quite enough damage, though. Sam, though, he wants to get a little bit greedy, so he'll have to back off as the rest of the team is, of course, respawned over on the side of Zoomers, but they have a lot of housekeeping that they need to attend to now.
I mean, that kind of tells you how strong they feel. They're like, all right, I'm going to move in the Skywrath Mage to force staff break the tree. He's like, oh, I'm sure he's here. Let's get him. 4 staffs forward, then runs away. That was a pretty aggressive move, but it doesn't matter. 22k gold advantage to get the melee racks now. Zoomers, this is probably their last hurrah. This is the one that they need to win, otherwise the game is over. They gotta win this fight, ideally steal Roche. Let's see how good the fight can be.
They have Rolling Thunder. This is Sam breaking the smoke here. Definitely a nice position from him, so most likely going to lose this Enchantress, and they're just gonna back off.
He does not have buyback, so this could be a little window they hit. Is their single target damage good enough to take
the Rolling Boulder's down? Sorry, not Rolling Boulder. The Rolling Thunder's down, and like that is your main fight in that pit for the side of the Zoomers. This is dangerous territory for them too, because they obviously, you know, want to get something done. Just kind of, they can sense each other, but they can't see each other. Even go, they pop the ultimate over onto Husky. They're trying to give some more vision. See Devi Llama, that's not the person I don't think they really want to jump on here. He's fairly tanky. Eve, maybe.
Yeah, TA is definitely much easier to deal with. If they have detection
There's still
in his body,
Devi Llama, though,
they
there,
can slow.
too. They have to be careful of.
For sure. It's definitely scary, but he is much more killable. Oh, the old dig up the enchanted quiver. Z-Freak's keeping that on. Keep it, dude. It's so good on Jakiro. This is going to win them the game. Watch. This is Liquid Fire.
Oh, immediately. Smoke breaking. Boundless comes up and Husky pumps that BKB. We've got 2 different fights going on. Immediately jumps out, takes down Husky. Moo will fall to even. There's going to be that buyback coming out now from Husky. They use the Stone Gaze. Will end up losing the top up over to the side. They just burst Kostabile. He has no mana left. He's already dead. Gunner now trying to roll away. One more hit should do the trick, and Ask gets himself a double kill. They just GG out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought maybe it'd come the fight before because things were getting very, very one-sided. Those Eves so confident in this match. I mean, they stomped Zoomers this game. Zoomers, their draft was a bit weird. They were supposed to like stomp the laning stage basically. When you have like a Jakiro plus a Coddle as your dual support, that means you're